Hey everyone, Steven from Level 1 Sword here. I wanted to start trying something both different and familiar. In the podcast, we would cover the latest video game, movie, and TV news that we could give our opinions on, and I'd like to bring it back with this new type of video, so I could really use your feedback via the comments. And with all that nonsense out of the way, so Sega announced a little while ago that they were going to be making another Sega Genesis Mini console. And we've actually seen quite a few of these over the years. They were infamously manufactured by AtGames. And the reason why I say infamous is that, of course, if you're at all familiar with them, you understand that the emulation was bad. The sound emulation especially was bad on pretty much any game. There wasn't a single game on those systems that sounded like the original Sega Genesis sound. If you're a Sega Genesis fan, you expect a certain experience, you expect, games to play right, you expect them to sound right, and AtGames never lived up to the expectation. So when it was revealed that Sega was going to be releasing a classic Genesis Mini type system in the same vein as the classic NES and Super NES, something that would be more expensive, come with a good amount of games, and run through HDMI, of course have the games running at HD, and then they announced that AtGames was going to be making it. Not good at all. With the fan outcry and the backlash, they changed their minds and actually they are making this themselves. They are manufacturing this Sega Genesis Mini / Classic. I guess we're calling it I guess they're officially calling it the Genesis Mini. It's going to be released September 19th for $79.99, and it's going to be coming with 40 games. Now, they haven't announced all of the games. They're kind of pulling a Sony PlayStation Classic here and just giving us a taste of what they're going to be releasing, but I think it's pretty good. Let's go through those titles right now. We'll be getting Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania Bloodlines, Space Harrier 2, Shining Force, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Toe Jam and Earl, Comic Zone, Sonic the Hedgehog, Altered Beast, and Gunstar Heroes. Of course, I expect them to put Sonic 2 on there and maybe even, like a Sonic Spinball or something along those lines, but I'm really hoping they put on Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I really do. It's just not... The Sonic collection is not complete without that game. Sonic 3 and Knuckles is, of course, the lock-on version of Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 3, and it's the complete, as originally intended, Sonic 3 experience, and I personally think that it is the best Sonic Genesis game, period. So to have a Genesis Mini without it is just criminal. Not that Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 are bad games, but Sonic 3 and Knuckles is just as close to a Sonic masterpiece as you can get. But having said that, this is going to be a mini system, and I guarantee you that this is going to be hacked just like all of the other classic systems so far released. Now, some other news, in the US, we are getting 2 controllers. They are the original 3-button controllers. Now, that should be fine unless they plan on putting any of the Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter games on here, in which case the 6-button controllers would make a whole lot more sense. They are going to be USB controllers, so who knows, maybe you can use pretty much whatever controller you like as long as it's USB, but we'll have to wait and see. As far as I'm concerned, unless they're going to be putting Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter on here, then the 3-button controller will suit me just fine. And in other news, Prince Harry, yes, that's right, the Prince Harry, came out criticizing the super massive popular game Fortnite, and actually called for it to be banned. Here are some of his quotes. "Fortnite shouldn't be allowed. Where is the benefit of having it in your household? It's created to an addiction to keep you in front of a computer for as long as possible. It's so irresponsible. It's like waiting for the damage to be done and kids turning up on your doorsteps and families being broken down." Now, I'm not the biggest Fortnite fan, of course. I think he raises some concerns that parents should be paying attention to. There's a lot in Fortnite and really any online game. Starting off in any game, you're not going to exactly know what's going on. You're not exactly going to know how to play the game. And people are going to criticize you, especially in a game like Fortnite where it's a competitive shooter. People call you all kinds of names. They cuss you out. They say you're a noob and that you need to get good. And some people, especially the younger they are, some people just don't know how to handle that. And maybe it's not the best thing for them to go online and play a competitive game online. Now that's on the not so serious side of concerns. On the more serious side of concerns, any game, anything really, that attracts children to play it will also attract pedophiles. It's a big problem on YouTube. I see a story, it seems like every few months, of someone who has a kid game-centric channel who gets caught either grooming kids or having child pornography. And it's crazy because these are role models for children, and then these accusations come out. I don't know if they're true or not, to be honest, but at the same time, some of them I would assume are. So you have to realize that you go online, any place that attracts children online, you're going to have pedophiles there. And kids, again, they don't know exactly how to handle those situations. Now, is that Epic's fault that happens? No, of course not. Should we ban the game because these things happen? No, I don't think that we should, because individuals need to be judged as individuals. I don't believe that you can just point to something and say, this is the reason for all the problems in my life, this is the reason for my behavior, and just blame that one thing, in this case, Fortnite. Prince Harry went so far as to call it an addiction. I'm sorry, but I can't agree with that, because using that logic, oh, you like to do something that's fun and entertaining, so much so that it starts to affect other areas of your life, well then anything can be an addiction by that measure. You could say, hey, you like to drive your car, a lot, maybe to the point where you're late for work sometimes, that's an addiction. We need to ban all cars. No one would say that. Absolutely no one would say that. Or, hey, you like to eat food? You like to eat a lot of food, so much so that it's affecting your health? Well, then we need to ban food. No, of course not. I don't understand why people think that individuals don't need to be judged as individuals, and that people, if there's some kind of external thing that they can't control themselves around, then you need to just remove the external thing and that will solve the problem. No, the problem is with the person. I've heard it said that, there's people out there that have addictive personalities. Basically, it doesn't matter what they have. It doesn't matter what they have access to. They're going to be addicted to it. It can be Fortnite, or it could be solitaire on their computer. It doesn't really matter. If you let something control your life, it will. It's that simple. You can get addicted to working. You can get addicted to watching TV by this definition. Just calling it an addiction, I'm sorry, it's an out. It's an easy way out of people getting out of their responsibilities. Just be responsible. If you're responsible, then you can enjoy different things in life, and it's not going to negatively affect you that much. So yeah, I definitely think while he might have some good points there, especially when children are concerned, he's going way over the line with thinking that it needs to be banned. Anyway, those were my 2 cents. What did you guys think? What do you think of the Sega Genesis Mini? Is $79.99 too much for you? Are you going to pick up one when it comes out in September? What games do you want to see come out? We've seen 10 announced already. What do you want the other 30 to be? Do you just not care about it at all? What do you also think about Prince Harry's comments about Fortnite? Do you agree with him? Do you disagree? Do you think it should be banned? Or do you think we need to keep it around simply for the memes that are produced by it? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys later.